My name is Jessica. I am 28 years old. I live in a small city. Not too big, not too small. It has nice parks and quiet streets. For the last 3 years, my life was mostly about one person, my boyfriend, Tom, and about one big dream, buying a house together. Tom and I met at a friend's party. He had a warm smile and kind eyes. He made me laugh easily. We started talking that night and we didn't stop. Soon, we were dating. Life felt bright with him. He worked at a small company that fixed computers. I worked at a cozy coffee shop. Downtown. We didn't have a lot of money, but we had each other. And we had our dream. Our dream was a little house with a small garden. We talked about it all the time. We imagined painting the walls yellow. We imagined planting flowers. We imagined sitting on the porch in the evening, drinking tea. This dream kept us going. We saved every dollar we could. We didn't go out to restaurants much. We didn't buy expensive clothes. We cooked dinner at home. We watched movies on my old sofa. It was simple, but it felt good. It felt like we were building something real, together. Tom was usually sweet. He held my hand when we walked. He brought me coffee sometimes at work. He told me I was beautiful. I believed him. I felt loved. I felt safe. I thought our life was simple and happy. I thought we would buy our house soon. I thought we would live there forever. I was wrong. So wrong. Everything changed one Tuesday night. It was raining outside. The sound of the rain was soft on the window. We had eaten dinner together, just pasta and salad. We watched a movie. Tom fell asleep on the sofa like he often did. He looked peaceful. I smiled a little. I felt tired too, so I decided to go to bed. I went to the bedroom. I brushed my teeth. I put on my pajamas. As I walked back past the living room, I saw Tom's phone on the small table next to the sofa. It was dark. But then, suddenly, it lit up. A message came through. Then another one. And another. Usually, I never looked at his phone. I trusted him. But something felt strange tonight. Maybe it was the late hour. Maybe it was the name on the screen. It wasn't a name I knew. It said Sarah. And the message preview showed words like, "Miss you" and "Tonight was amazing." My heart started beating fast. Really fast. It felt like a drum inside my chest. My hands felt cold. I stood there, frozen, just looking at the phone lighting up again. And again. Who was Sarah? Why was she messaging Tom so late? Why did she miss him? What happened tonight? My mind filled with questions. Terrible questions. I wanted to wake him up. I wanted to scream. But I couldn't move. I just stood there in the dim light, watching those messages appear. Short messages, full of hearts and kisses. Messages that were not for me. I felt sick, like I wanted to throw up. I picked up the phone. My hand was shaking so much. I unlocked it. Tom never used a password. He always said, "I have nothing to hide from you." I felt bad looking, but I had to know. I opened the messages from Sarah. There were so many, not just from tonight, from weeks ago, months ago. Pictures of them together, smiling, laughing, holding hands. Pictures taken in places I didn't recognize. Restaurants we never went to. A park I had never seen. They talked about dates, about weekends away. They used words like, "my love," "my heart." Words Tom used to say to me. My legs felt weak. I had to sit down on the floor. Right there, next to the sofa where he slept. Tears started rolling down. my cheeks. Hot tears. I couldn't stop them. I read message after message. Each one felt like a knife twisting in my heart. He was living another life. A completely different life. A life that didn't include me. He wasn't just cheating. He had a whole other relationship. How could he do this? How could he lie to me every single day? How could he smile at me, hold me, talk about our future house, while he was texting her, meeting her, loving her? I looked at him sleeping. He still looked peaceful, like nothing was wrong. How could he sleep like that? Did he feel no guilt? No shame? The man I loved, the man I was building a dream with, was a stranger, a liar. I sat there on the floor for a long time, maybe an hour, maybe more. The rain stopped outside. The room was quiet, except for my soft crying and his steady breathing. I felt so alone, so incredibly stupid. How did I not see it? Were there signs? Little things I missed? I remembered times he came home late from work, times he went away for the weekend to visit his sick uncle, times he was quiet on the phone, walking into another room to talk. I had always trusted him. I never questioned him. Why would I? I loved him. I thought he loved me too. Now everything felt like a lie. Our simple life, our shared dream, our love. Was any of it real? Or was I just living in a story he made up? I felt a wave of anger wash over me. Hot, burning anger. I wanted to shake him awake. I wanted to throw the phone at him. I wanted to shout until my voice broke. But I didn't. I just sat there, holding his phone, feeling my world fall apart around me. The dream of our little house, the one with the yellow walls and the garden, it felt so far away now. It felt like a dream someone else had, not me. My dream was broken, shattered into a million tiny pieces. Just like my heart, I didn't know what to do. Where could I go? What would happen now? We had saved money together. Our names were both on the savings account. What about the house? What about us? What about me? I gently put the phone back on the table. I wiped my tears, but more came. I stood up slowly. My body felt heavy, like it was made of stone. I walked to the bedroom. I didn't turn on the light. I crawled into bed. The sheets felt cold. I pulled the blanket up to my chin, but I couldn't stop shivering. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling. My mind raced, replaying conversations, seeing those pictures again and again, hearing his lies echo in my head. Sleep felt impossible. How could I sleep next to him tonight? How could I pretend everything was normal in the morning? I knew I had to talk to him. I had to confront him. But I was scared. Scared of his answers. Scared of the fight. Scared of what would happen after the truth was out. Scared of being alone. But more than scared, I felt betrayed. Deeply, painfully betrayed. The person I trusted most in the world had hurt me in the worst way possible, and I knew, deep down, that nothing would ever be the same again. Our simple life wasn't simple anymore. It was a mess, and I was right in the middle of it, alone in the dark. Listening to the quiet breathing of the man who broke my heart while he slept, the night felt endless. I didn't sleep at all. I just lay there, thinking, crying, feeling numb. When the first light of morning started to peek through the curtains, I felt exhausted. My eyes were puffy and red, my head hurt, but I knew I couldn't hide. I had to face him. I got out of bed quietly. I went to the kitchen and made coffee. My hands were still shaking. I sat at the small kitchen table, looking out the window at the gray morning sky. I heard Tom waking up. He stretched, yawned, and walked into the kitchen. "Morning," he said, smiling his usual warm smile. He tried to kiss my cheek. I turned my head away. I couldn't look at him. Not yet. His smile faded. "Jess, what's wrong? You look terrible." I took a deep breath. It felt shaky. I looked at him then, really looked at him. His kind eyes didn't look so kind anymore. His warm smile felt cold. "Who is Sarah?" I asked. My voice was quiet, but it didn't tremble. His face changed. Surprise, then confusion, then fear. I saw it flicker in his eyes. "Sarah? I don't know any Sarah." He tried to laugh it off, but it sounded hollow. "Don't lie to me, Tom," I said, my voice getting a little stronger. "I saw the messages last night on your phone." He froze. The color drained from his face. He looked down at the floor. He didn't say anything for a long time. The silence in the kitchen was heavy. I could hear the clock ticking on the wall. Tick, tock, tick, tock. "Please," I whispered. "Just tell me the truth." He finally looked up. His eyes were wet. "Jess, I didn't mean for you to find out like this." "You didn't mean for me to find out at all," I corrected him. My voice was sharp now. Anger was mixing with the sadness. "Who is she?" he sighed. A long, heavy sigh. "Her name is Sarah. I met her at a work conference about 6 months ago. 6 months. Not just a mistake. Not just one night. 6 months of lies. 6 months of a double life." "Do you love her?" I asked. The question hurt coming out of my mouth. He hesitated. He looked away again. "It's complicated, Jess." "It's not complicated, Tom." I couldn't keep my voice down anymore. "Do you love her? Yes or no?" He looked back at me, his eyes full of something I couldn't read. Maybe guilt. Maybe sadness. "Yes," he whispered. "I think I do." His answer hit me like a physical blow. I felt the air leave my lungs. Even though I expected it, hearing him say it out loud broke something else inside me. "And me?" I asked, my voice barely audible. "What about me? What about our house? Our dream?" "I still care about you, Jess," he said quickly. "I do, I got confused. Things with Sarah, they felt exciting, new." "New?" I repeated. "So I'm old news? Our life is boring? Is that it?" Tears started falling again. I couldn't stop them. "We were saving for a house, Tom. Our future. Was that all a lie too?" "No, not all of it," he insisted. "I wanted that house. With you. I still do. I messed up. Badly." "Messed up?" I stood up from the table. My legs felt unsteady. "You didn't just mess up, Tom. You built another life. You lied to me every day for 6 months. You looked me in the eyes and told me you loved me while you were loving someone else. That's not messing up. That's betrayal." I was shouting now. I didn't care. All the pain, the anger, the confusion from the night before came rushing out. "How could you do this to us? To me?" Tom stood up too. "I don't know, Jess. I don't have answers. I felt lost. Things at work were stressful. You were always focused on saving. on the house. Sarah just listened. She made me feel... He stopped. Feel what? I pushed. Feel important? Feel young? Feel like you weren't tied down? He didn't answer. He just looked miserable. Does she know about me? I asked quietly. He shook his head. No, I told her I was single. Of course. Another lie. He lied to her too. He built this entire relationship on lies. I felt a strange mix of disgust and pity. He looked so weak standing there, so lost. But my pity didn't last long. The hurt was too deep. You need to leave, I said. My voice was firm now. Clear. What? Jess? No. Let's talk about this. We can fix this. I'll end it with her. Today. I promise. Just please, don't kick me out. He reached for my hand. I pulled away. No, Tom. There's nothing to fix. You broke it. You broke everything. Our trust, our dream, us. I pointed to the door. Get your things and leave. He stared at me, his eyes wide. You don't mean that. I mean every word, I said, looking straight into his eyes. I can't look at you anymore. I can't live with you knowing what you did. It's over. Go. He stood there for another moment, looking helpless. Then, slowly, he turned and walked towards the bedroom. I heard him opening drawers, rustling bags. I stayed in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, trying to breathe. My whole body was shaking. This was it. This was the end of our simple life. The end of our dream. He was leaving, and I would be alone. The thought terrified me, but the thought of him staying hurt even more. He came back with 2 bags. He stopped in front of me. Jess, please. Goodbye, Tom, I said, turning, my face away. I couldn't watch him leave, but I couldn't ask him to stay. He hesitated, then opened the front door. He stepped outside. He closed the door gently behind him, and then I was alone. Truly alone. In our small apartment that suddenly felt huge and empty. The silence was deafening. I slid down the kitchen counter until I was sitting on the floor again. I wrapped my arms around my knees and cried. I cried for the love I lost. I cried for the dream that died. I cried for the future I thought we had. I cried until I had no tears left. I just felt empty. Hollow. Broken. The first few days after Tom left were a blur. I felt like I was walking through fog. Everything seemed unreal. The apartment felt too quiet, too empty. His side of the bed was cold. His coffee mug sat unwashed in the sink. Everywhere I looked, there were reminders of him, of us, of the life we were supposed to have. I called my boss at the coffee shop and told her I was sick. I couldn't face people yet. I couldn't pretend to smile and be cheerful. I stayed home, mostly in bed. Sometimes I cried. Sometimes I just stared at the wall, feeling nothing at all. Numb. My best friend Chloe came over as soon as she heard. She didn't say much at first. She just hugged me tight. She made me tea. She sat with me while I cried. She listened when I finally started talking, letting out all the anger and the pain. How could he do this, Chloe? I asked her, my voice thick with tears. I thought he loved me. We were planning our future. I don't know, Jess, she said softly, rubbing my back. Some people are cowards. Some people are selfish. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Her words helped a little, but the hurt was still there, deep inside. It felt like a heavy weight in my chest. Chloe helped me pack up the rest of Tom's things. Clothes he left behind, books, his old guitar. Putting his stuff into boxes felt strange, like I was erasing him from my life. But I knew I had to do it. I couldn't heal with his ghost still haunting the apartment. Chloe called him and arranged for him to pick up the boxes when I wasn't home. I didn't want to see him again. Not yet. Maybe not ever. One of the hardest things was the money, our savings account, the house fund. It had both our names on it. We had saved for 3 years. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was ours. It was for our dream. I talked to Chloe about it. What do I do? Half of it is his. You saved it together, for a shared future he destroyed, Chloe said firmly. But you need to be fair. Talk to him about it later, when you're stronger. For now, maybe just leave it alone. That felt right. I couldn't deal with it yet. The thought of dividing the money, dividing the dream, was too painful. After a week, I knew I had to go back to work. I needed the routine. I needed to get out of the apartment. The first day back was hard. Putting on my apron, making coffee, serving, customers. It all felt mechanical. I forced a smile, but inside I felt empty. Some regular customers asked about Tom. "Haven't seen Tom around lately," one kind old lady said. "We're not together anymore," I managed to say. My voice was quiet. She looked surprised, then her eyes softened with sympathy. "Oh dear, I'm so sorry." Hearing those words made my eyes sting. I quickly turned away, pretending to wipe the counter. It was hard talking about it. It made it feel too real. Life slowly started to find a new rhythm. A quiet, lonely rhythm. I worked. I came home. I ate simple meals alone. I watched TV or read books, trying to distract myself. Some nights were better than others. Some nights, the loneliness felt overwhelming. I missed having someone to talk to, someone to share my day with. I even missed his stupid jokes. It was confusing. How could I miss someone who hurt me so badly? I saw couples holding hands on the street, and my heart ached. I saw houses with for sale signs, and I felt a pang of sadness for the dream house. We would never have. It was like the whole world was reminding me of what I had lost. Tom tried to call me a few times. I didn't answer. He sent messages, apologies, excuses, asking to talk. I read them, and they made me angry all over again. How could he think a simple "sorry" could fix this? I didn't reply. I needed space. I needed time to heal. Chloe was amazing. She checked on me every day. She dragged me out for walks in the park, even when I didn't want to go. She brought over pizza and movies on Friday nights. She reminded me that I wasn't alone, that I was strong. "You'll get through this, Jess," she often said. "It will take time, but you will. You're stronger than you think." I tried to believe her. Some days I almost did. I started doing small things for myself. I bought a new plant for the apartment. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since college. Simple watercolors of flowers and landscapes. It helped calm my mind. It felt good to create something beautiful when my life felt so messy. Healing wasn't easy. It wasn't a straight line. Some days I felt okay, almost hopeful. Other days, A wave of sadness would hit me unexpectedly, and I would end up crying in the bathroom at work. It was okay to feel sad, Chloe told me. It was okay to be angry. It was okay to take time. I thought about Sarah sometimes. The other woman. Did she know about me now? Did Tom tell her the truth? Did she feel sorry for me? Or did she hate me? Part of me wanted to find her, to talk to her. But another part knew it wouldn't help. She was part of his lie, not mine. My focus needed to be on myself, on rebuilding my own life. I started thinking about the future again. Not a future with Tom, but my own future. What did I want? Maybe the dream of the house wasn't completely dead. Maybe one day I could buy a small place for myself. The thought was scary, but also a little exciting. A future that was just mine. It was a small spark of hope in the darkness. A sign that maybe, just maybe, I could be happy again. It wouldn't be the life I planned, but maybe it could still be a good life. My own life. Months passed. The sharp pain started to fade, leaving a dull ache behind, like a bruise that was slowly healing. I learned to live with the emptiness Tom left, filling it with small joys. My painting, Chloe's friendship, the smell of coffee in the morning, a good book. I still worked at the coffee shop. It felt familiar, safe. My boss was kind and understanding. She didn't ask questions, just gave me a supportive nod sometimes. My regular customers knew something had changed, but they were respectful. They gave me space. I started going for walks after work, long walks through the park or along the river. The fresh air helped clear my head. I watched families playing, dogs chasing balls, old couples sitting on benches. Life went on. And slowly, I felt like I was starting to go on with it too. One Saturday, Chloe convinced me to go to a local art fair. I hadn't painted much, just small things at home, but she said, "Just come look, get inspired." We walked around, looking at paintings, pottery, and handmade jewelry. It felt nice to be surrounded by creativity. I saw a woman selling beautiful watercolor paintings of landscapes. They reminded me of the places I like to walk. I stopped to talk to her. Her name was Martha. She was older, with kind eyes and paint smudges on her fingers. "Your work is beautiful," I told her. "Thank you, dear," she smiled. "Do you paint?" Little," I admitted shyly. "Just for myself." "You should join a class," she said enthusiastically. "There's a wonderful beginner's watercolor class at the community center. It's very relaxed. Good people." The idea stayed with me. A class? Could I do that? It felt scary, putting myself out there, meeting new people. But it also felt interesting. A way to do something just for me. The next week, I signed up. The first class was nerve-wracking. I sat at the back, feeling shy. But the teacher was gentle, and the other students were friendly. We learned about mixing colors, about different brush strokes. I focused on the paper, the water, the paint. For those 2 hours, I didn't think about Tom. I didn't feel sad or angry. I just felt calm, present. I kept going to the class every week. I started painting more at home too. Small pictures of flowers from the park, the river at sunset, my little plant on the windowsill. Painting became my therapy, my quiet space. One day, I got a formal letter. It was about the savings account. Tom wanted to close it and divide the money. My heart sank a little. It felt so final. Chloe came over and we talked about it. "It's time, Jess," she said gently. You need to separate everything. It's part of moving on. She was right. I agreed to meet Tom, but only at the bank, with a bank employee present. I didn't want to be alone with him. Seeing him again was strange. He looked tired, older. He tried to smile at me, but I kept my face neutral. We didn't talk much. The bank manager explained the process. We signed the papers. The money was divided equally. Half went into my new account, half into his. As we were leaving, Tom stopped me outside. "Jess, can we just talk? For a minute?" I hesitated. Part of me wanted to walk away, but another part felt, maybe I needed closure. "Okay, Tom, 5 minutes." We stood on the sidewalk. People walked past us. I just wanted to say, again, "I'm sorry," he said, looking down. "So sorry for everything, for hurting you, for destroying what we had." "Why did you do it, Tom?" I asked quietly. It was the question that still lingered. He sighed. "I don't know. I think I was scared. Scared of settling down, maybe? Scared it wasn't the right life for me. Sarah, she was an escape. It was wrong. I know that now. I lost. The best thing in my life because I was a coward." His words didn't fix anything, but hearing him admit his fear, his cowardice, it helped a little. It made him seem less like a monster, more like a flawed, weak person. Are you still with her?" I asked, needing to know. He shook his head. "No, it ended. After you kicked me out, I told her everything. About you, about the lies. She was angry, hurt. She left me." He gave a small, sad laugh. "I guess I deserved that." "Yes," I said simply. "You did." There was a moment of silence. "I hope you can be happy, Jess," he said finally. "You deserve to be happy." "I'm working on it," I replied. "Goodbye, Tom." And this time, I walked away first. I didn't look back. It felt like closing a door. A heavy, painful door. But closing it allowed me to face forward. With my half of the savings, I felt a little more secure. It wasn't enough for a house, not yet. But it was a start, my start. I kept working at the coffee shop. I kept painting. I spent time with Chloe. Life wasn't exciting, but it was peaceful. And peace felt good after the storm. One evening after my art class, I was walking home. It was autumn, and the leaves were golden and red. I felt a sense of quiet contentment. I passed a small bookstore and decided to go inside. I loved the smell of old books. As I browsed the shelves, a man next to me dropped a pile of books. I bent down to help him pick them up. "Oh, thank you so much," he said, smiling. He had friendly eyes and a kind face. "I'm a bit clumsy today." "It's okay," I smiled back. We started talking. About books, about the weather. His name was Mark. He was new in town, a librarian. The conversation was easy, comfortable. We talked for maybe 10 minutes. When I left the store, I felt lighter. It was nice to talk to someone new, someone who didn't know my past. It wasn't love. It wasn't even a date. It was just a small, simple connection, but it felt like another step forward. A sign that maybe my heart wasn't completely closed off. Maybe one day I could trust again. Maybe one day I could find a different kind of happiness. Not the one I planned with Tom, but one that was real, honest, and truly mine. The future was still uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, it didn't feel quite so scary. It felt possible.